Hello and welcome back, dear listeners, to another episode of our podcast. Today, Kasem and I want to explore one of the oldest and deepest questions in human life: what is true happiness? For centuries, philosophers, poets, scientists, and spiritual leaders have tried to answer this question. Is happiness just a feeling of pleasure? Is it success, money, or fame? Or is it something deeper, like peace of mind, purpose, and connection? In today's conversation, we will explore different ideas of happiness, share stories, reflect on our personal experiences, and give you some practical steps to discover and maintain true happiness in your own life.
That's right, Sarah. If you ask 10 people what happiness means, you may get 10 different answers. Some will say happiness is about wealth and comfort. Others will say it is about relationships and family. And still others may say happiness is about spiritual growth or living with meaning. But the truth is, happiness is not one simple thing, it is a balance of many elements. And while pleasure fades, true happiness is something that can stay with you even in difficult times. So today, let's go deep into what real happiness is and how anyone, no matter where they are in life, can find it.
Let's start with the common idea that happiness is about wealth. Many people believe that if they just earn more money, buy a bigger house, or travel the world, they will finally be happy. And yes, money can bring comfort, freedom, and opportunities. But research shows that after a certain point, once your basic needs are met, more money doesn't actually make you much happier. If wealth alone created happiness, then all rich people would be joyful. But we see many wealthy individuals who struggle with emptiness, loneliness, and even depression.
Exactly. That's why philosophers like Aristotle made a distinction between pleasure and true happiness. He used the word eudaimonia, which means living a life of virtue, purpose, and growth. In his view, happiness is not about temporary pleasure but about living in alignment with your values, developing your character, and contributing to society. I think this is very powerful, because it tells us that happiness is not just something we receive, but something we build every day through the way we live.
Love that point. And I think relationships play a huge role too. The longest-running scientific study on happiness, from Harvard University, has been tracking people for over 80 years. And the number one factor that determined their happiness was not money or career success, but the quality of their relationships. People who had strong, loving, and supportive connections were healthier, lived longer, and reported being happier. This shows us that true happiness is deeply connected to love, friendship, and community.
Yes, and I think this is something people sometimes forget in our modern world. We chase careers, we chase achievements, we chase recognition, but if we neglect our relationships, we end up feeling empty. Happiness is often found in the small moments, sharing a meal with family, laughing with friends, or supporting someone you love. These moments may not make headlines, but they are the building blocks of a truly happy life.
That reminds me of something the Dalai Lama once said: happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. He often talks about compassion and kindness as central to happiness. When we care for others, when we give instead of only taking, we feel a deeper sense of meaning. I think that's why volunteering or helping others makes people so joyful. It's not about losing something, it's about gaining a sense of connection and purpose.
And speaking of purpose, that's another key ingredient. Many people ask, why am I not happy even though I have everything? The answer is often that they lack a sense of purpose. Having goals, dreams, and reasons to wake up in the morning gives life direction. Purpose doesn't always mean something grand like changing the world. It can be raising children with love, creating art, improving your skills, or simply being kind in your daily interactions. When you live with purpose, happiness follows naturally.
Yes, and purpose is also connected to growth. Humans are not happy when they are stagnant. We are happiest when we are learning, improving, and evolving. Think about when you learn a new language, master a new skill, or overcome a challenge, you feel proud, alive, and motivated. That feeling is a deep form of happiness that comes from growth, not from passive comfort.
That's so true. And I think another layer is gratitude. Sometimes we spend so much time chasing what we don't have that we forget to appreciate what we already do. Gratitude is like a lens, it changes the way you see your life. If you practice gratitude daily, even for small things, the morning sunshine, a good cup of tea, a kind word, you start to feel happier because you focus on abundance instead of scarcity. Studies even show that people who keep gratitude journals feel significantly happier and less stressed. And let's not forget health. Our physical and mental health greatly affect our happiness. If we neglect our body, eating poorly, avoiding exercise, not sleeping enough, it becomes harder to feel joy. A healthy body supports a happy mind. Simple habits like walking in nature, exercising, and eating well don't just make us physically stronger, they also boost our mood and energy, which leads to a happier life.
I agree. And maybe we should also address the myth of constant happiness. Many people think that if they are not happy every day, something is wrong. But true happiness is not about smiling all the time. Life will always have challenges, sadness, and pain. Real happiness is being able to maintain peace and hope even during hard times. It's about resilience, finding light even when the sky is cloudy. In other words, happiness is not the absence of problems, but the ability to face them with strength and perspective.
That's such an important point. I think we can end this section with a reflection. True happiness is not a single thing, it is a combination of purpose, growth, relationships, gratitude, mindfulness, kindness, and health. It is not something we wait for, but something we create daily through our choices, actions, and mindset.
Dear listeners, as we finish this episode, I want you to ask yourself, what truly makes you happy? Not what society tells you, not what advertisements promise, but what genuinely fills your heart with peace and joy. Write it down, reflect on it, and try to add more of it into your daily life. Remember, happiness is not a destination, it is a way of living.
Yes, and don't forget that happiness grows when it is shared. Smile at others, show kindness, spend time with loved ones, and you will see that your own happiness multiplies. True happiness is not found in isolation but in connection. And even in difficult times, keep faith that life has beauty, meaning, and lessons for you.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope this conversation has inspired you to think about happiness in a deeper way and given you tools to find it in your own journey. Until next time, may your days be filled with peace, gratitude, and true joy.
Goodbye, dear friends, and remember, happiness is not something to wait for, it is something to live, here and now.